Hi, me again. So this is the second video that I said I was going to do, which is basically about one of the conditions that I have. And as I found out today, has contributed to my downfall in my life at the moment, which ironically enough isn't my mental health, is the fact that my lungs are failing on me in a big way. But it's not just that, it's a load of things. So basically, if you or your partner or your friends or your dad, your mum, are just a little bit overweight and snore, and snore loudly, when in the middle of snoring, you kind of stop breathing like... chances are you could have a condition which is very commonly known now as sleep apnea. And someone that I know is currently going through the tests and procedures. A guy in America, Tony, and obviously in America, if you are watching this in the United States, it is a lot different, because obviously the healthcare is different to the UK. I'm telling you what I went through and how it's changed my life a bit, and how I wished I did this years and years and years and years ago. So go back to my start of my story. So basically, I've always been overweight. I'm an alcoholic. Well, I was a severe alcoholic. Took drugs, smoked since the age of 20. Smoked like a chimney, I did. And I used to snore. When I lived in the Forest Hill Hotel, people could hear me outside when they used to come in the morning on a Saturday morning. If I'd been drinking the night before, they'd be standing out the front having a fag, especially on a warm day, and I've got the windows open, and they could hear me snoring. When I lived with my ex, she went to the shop one day and she could hear me snoring, and the shop was like a good distance away. I went to the doctors because I thought it was my tonsils, and I wanted my tonsils removed. I explained everything, and she sent me to our local hospital, which was, for me, it's Chelsea and Westminster. And again, this is different how people have how it goes for people, but for me, I went to Chelsea and Westminster Hospital, and I saw someone there, and it was basic, just asking me questions, and then they gave me a kit to take home, which was it was basically an elastic band that goes around your waist with like a power pack, and you have a thing that goes over your finger to check your saturations levels, and you have bits and pieces, and then you put like a tube that goes into your nostrils, around your ears, sort of thing, and it has a filter that filters your airwaves. So I had to have that on for the night. So I had that, and I went back the next day. That's just a process sleep study, and then they said that, well, we'll book you in for an operation. Now, I know that, Dan, if you're watching this, I saw your status the other day that you're a bit concerned. The first operation, what they call an operation, again, it might be different, but for me, when I had mine done, and a few people that I know, the first operation ain't so much an operation. So what happens is you go to the hospital, and you're fast, and then they give you this sexy pair of stockings to put on and to get changed and what have you. I put one of them gowns on that you can never do up, that I've just worn for the last week. And then when they take you in, they'll ask you loads of questions about, again, smoking, eating, what have you. And then when it's time, they'll lay you down. You lay down on a bed, and they make you comfortable. And when I was there, I had a leading specialist of sleep apnea from Germany, and he was there. There was another surgeon and two nurses. So you lay down on the bed, they make you comfortable, they talk to you. I think we spoke about KFC. and because I was hungry, as you do, and they basically, this is the bit that hurts for me. It hurt is they get these tubes like cameras, and they put them up through your nose, and they feed it down, and then it comes out through the roof of your mouth. And that's the bit that hurt the most, was it coming out, because it's obviously like skin. And then as it come out, they push it down your throat. So if you've got gag reflexes like I do, I was gagging like every 2 seconds. And they asked you to take deep breaths and everything. Sorry, I have to catch my breath. So yeah, they asked you to take deep breaths, and they talk through things, and they ask you to do like that sort of thing, and then they sedate you. Now I was really lucky because I had a nurse who could see that I was in a lot of pain, and she basically sat there stroking my hand, holding my hand, and I believe that she was there for the whole procedure because I was scared. So they put you to sleep, and then they monitor your airways, because basically sleep apnea is, it's not so much your tonsils, it's the airwaves down in your throat. They get, when you sleep, they close up, so it blocks your airwaves. So they want to see how many apneas, that's an apnea, and mine was like ridiculously, I think the specialist said that it's one of the highest cases he'd ever seen. And of course, the more, if you don't treat it, what happens is you're in line for a course of heart attack, heart failure, strokes, lung disease, lung failure. Your whole body basically affects, because you're not getting the oxygen. So they done that, and then within, I think, 12 hours, if that, I had a phone call to ask me to go back into the hospital. And again, Chelsea and Westminster are really good. And the company that supply the machines, they supply it for the whole country. Baywater, fantastic company. You get excellent care from them. So I went in, and they explained to me that I had sleep apnea, a really high case, and then they give you, depending on your apneas, a choice of machines. So I have a bipap machine. You can get a cpap machine, and basically it's this little machine. Then they set the pressures there, and so my one is a bipap, which means because my breathing is so bad, it constantly pumps the air. So even when I'm exhaling, there's oxygen, although it's not connected to an oxygen tank, it just pumps the air. And then you have the mask. Now, some people will have masks that go just over the nose or in the nose if you breathe through your nose. You can have masks that go just cover your nose and your mouth, and they just stop there. They're really small. You can have some that look like a radioactive thing. It literally goes the entire length of your face. I had this one. It's a bit dirty, but yeah. I've got a large seal on it because the seal is important. Because if you don't have the right seal, then you get leaks, and at first you will have leaks. You have to figure out how to adjust your straps, so to speak, to stop the leaking. And the leaks can be a pain in the ass. And to be totally honest, I will say that I nearly gave up after a week. In fact, I did give up. The first time I had this, I stopped using it. It was only when I started work for Betfred that I actually started using it again, because I was feeling tired. So basically, before you go to bed, you wipe it over, and then it just clicks in there. You push the power button. I don't know if you can hear me, I'm going to shout, and there's an inflow of air coming through. And so basically, and people say that it's uncomfortable to sleep with. No, it's not. And as you can see, it's easy to remove. So yeah, I got that, and like I said, I gave up using it. I just couldn't, and it was horrible. And then I started using it, and you do, after a couple of weeks, you'll feel the difference because you're not snoring as much. You're not waking up. You don't wake up to go to the toilet. I used to wake up and go to the toilet 4 or 5 times a day, a night, and now I don't because I'm asleep and I'm constantly sleeping. You might have a dry mouth. Again, you can get a dehumidifier that goes on. It attaches. You might get a different machine, but you can. It connects to the machine. You put water in, not tap water. You have to use. I can't remember the name of the water, but basically you can do it yourself, boiled or kettle. And it's basic. And basically, this little machine could save your life. Could stop you from having a heart attack. Could stop you from having a stroke if caught in the right time. And for you guys in America, Tony, obviously you have. I think you have to pay for these. What we don't realise is that in the UK we're really lucky because of the NHS. Because these in America, this machine here is $1,200 in America. The tube is something like $50, and even the mask is something like $110 in America, with the strap and the seal. Now, if I have a problem with my tube or my mask, I phone Help Babel or Healthcare, whatever they're called, and they can't send someone out. And then someone comes out every about 6 months to check your readings, to check your apneas. And it is a really important thing to do. And I really do say to people, you know, if you have it, get checked. Because I said to my friend, Abby said about a friend, and I said to her, like, tell him to get checked out because it is so important. And it could prevent serious health. It helps with weight loss as well, apparently. I wouldn't know. But yeah, I really do recommend, and I've had to rush through this video a bit because of the time. But the procedure, like I said, it hurts, but it's for not even 10 minutes worth of pain. It's worth it. And you know, better get checked out and seen to than be like me, who's basically been given a death sentence on their life, being told that, you know, when you get told that there's not much that things can be done and your lungs are deteriorating at a rapid rate, it's not the nicest thing in the world. And especially over night time, because part of my asthma and my lung problem with my COPD was I was waking up in the night gasping for air because there was a problem with my machine. It was cutting out. And then as I was getting up to go to the toilet, I'm having an asthma attack because I'm panicking and I can't breathe. It does in the mornings. I will say this one: when you take the mask off in the mornings, give yourself a couple of minutes to adjust, because you're going from having a influx of air, fresh air, kind of, to normal air, and it can thin. And then to look after it, all you do is that comes off, take the strap off, wash with warm clean water, wash the tube with warm clean water, and on the back of the machine there's filters that you get with the fins, and if you can see that, that's just from like 3 days, so they give you plenty of filters as well. So guys, really, truthfully, honestly, like, go and get checked out, please. Even if you snore a little bit, it's worth the try. It could be your tonsils. It could not be this. I don't want to scare people, but surely it's worth it. Because if you've got something worth living for, why spend your life trying to get better for it when you can just do one simple thing? If there's any questions, please put in the comments, or if you have me on social media, I'm going to be on there for another week at least. On my Facebook, on my Twitter at MikeyMax81, on Instagram MikeParker81, or Snapchat MikeyMax81. Please feel free to message me and ask me about it, and I will give you all the information I know. But yeah, basically the procedure is a sleep study, and then you will have to go for sleep studies in months to come, but surely it's worth it. So I hope this video has been a big help. And thank you very much for everyone's support and messages. I'm sorry that I'm not myself at the moment. I am dealing with a hell of a lot, but please take care, everyone, and go and get checked out.